Every day, millions of people walk outside assuming the laws of probability are on their side. Most of the time, they are. But every once in a while, someone survives something so extreme, so statistically impossible, that it feels like reality itself glitched. People who fell from the sky, people struck by lightning multiple times, people crushed, frozen, burned, poisoned, drowned, and somehow walked away. These aren't superheroes. They didn't have special equipment. They didn't know what was about to happen. They were just unbelievably lucky. Today, we're breaking down the luckiest people who survived the impossible, explaining what should have killed them, why it didn't, and how close they actually were to death. Let's start with one of the most unbelievable survival stories in human history. Vesna Vulović, the woman who fell from the sky. In 1972, Vesna Vulović was a flight attendant on Yugoslav Airlines, Flight 367. At 33,000 feet, cruising altitude, a bomb exploded inside the aircraft. The plane was instantly torn apart mid-air. There were no survivors, except one. Vesna fell over 30,000 feet without a parachute and survived. To put that into perspective, terminal velocity for a human is about 120 miles per hour. Impact at that speed is almost always fatal. No human should survive a fall like that. So how did she? When the plane disintegrated, Vesna was trapped inside a section of the fuselage, which acted like a crude shell. That shell crashed into a snowy, forested mountainside, slowing the impact just enough. She still suffered. A fractured skull, broken legs, broken ribs, paralysis, temporarily. Doctors said her low blood pressure likely saved her life by preventing fatal internal bleeding. She eventually fully recovered and holds the Guinness World Record for the highest fall survived without a parachute. Statistically, her survival should not exist. Frane Selak, the man who couldn't die. If bad luck were a profession, Frane Selak would be a legend. Except somehow, he survived everything. Over his lifetime, Frane experienced a train derailment into an icy river. He swam out. A plane crash. He fell onto hay and survived. 2 car explosions. A bus accident. Being hit by a car. In one incident, his plane lost a door mid-air. Frane was sucked out, only to land in a haystack. Everyone else on board died. Later in life, he won the lottery. Then he gave most of the money away. People call him the luckiest unlucky man alive. Statistically, surviving even 2 of these events would be rare. Surviving all of them? That borders on impossible. Julian Kupska, 10,000 feet into the jungle. In 1971, 17-year-old Juliana Kupka was flying over the Amazon rainforest when her plane was struck by lightning. The aircraft disintegrated mid-air. Julianne was still strapped to her seat when she fell over 10,000 feet into the jungle. She survived the fall. But that was only the beginning. Injured, concussed, and alone, she wandered the rainforest for 11 days with a broken collarbone, deep gashes, insect infestations, no food. She followed a stream, remembering advice from her biologist parents, and eventually found help. She was the only survivor of the crash. Her survival required a survivable fall angle, dense vegetation breaking impact, knowledge of jungle survival. Miss one of those factors, and she doesn't make it. Harrison O'Keefe, 6 hours underwater. In 2013, Harrison O'Keefe was working as a cook aboard a tugboat off the coast of Nigeria. The ship capsized suddenly. Most of the crew drowned immediately. Harrison didn't. He found himself trapped inside an air pocket in the overturned ship, 100 feet underwater. For nearly 60 hours, he survived, in complete darkness, in freezing water, surrounded by corpses. He had no food, no fresh water, minimal oxygen. Eventually, divers searching the wreck found him alive, barely, Doctors said his survival was possible only because the air pocket stayed intact. His body temperature dropped, slowing metabolism. He remained calm enough not to panic. Any small leak, panic attack, or delay, and he would have died. Roy Sullivan. The odds of being struck by lightning once are low. The odds of being struck 7 times are astronomical. Roy Sullivan, a park ranger, was struck by lightning on 7 separate occasions across his lifetime and survived all of them. Each strike caused injuries, burns, nerve damage, loss of toenails, temporary paralysis. Lightning carries up to 1 billion volts. 1 strike can stop your heart instantly. 7 should be impossible. Roy earned the nickname the human lightning rod. Ironically, he didn't die from lightning, but later took his own life due to unrelated personal struggles. Statistically, his lightning survival alone defies probability. Michael Lotito, the man who ate metal. Michael Lotito had a rare condition called pica, which caused him to crave non-food items, but his body adapted in ways doctors couldn't explain. Over his lifetime, Michael ate bicycles, shopping carts, televisions, glass, and even an entire airplane. Yes, an airplane. He consumed it piece by piece over 2 years. His stomach lining was abnormally thick. His digestive acids were unusually strong. Any normal person attempting this would die from internal bleeding or poisoning. Michael lived to age 57. His body shouldn't have tolerated it, but somehow it did. Erica Noble, surviving a headshot. Gunshot wounds to the head are almost always fatal. Erica Noble was shot point-blank in the head. The bullet entered her skull and didn't kill her. Instead, it lodged in a position that avoided major brain structures. She survived with minimal long-term damage. Doctors later confirmed the angle of entry was critical. A few millimeters difference would have been fatal. Surviving a headshot isn't just rare, it's nearly unheard of. Allison Botha, cyclist versus truck. Professional cyclist Allison Botha was abducted, assaulted, and stabbed more than 30 times, including injuries to her neck and abdomen. Her attackers left her for dead, but Allison refused to die. Despite catastrophic injuries, she crawled to the road, flagged down help, survived against all odds. Doctors later said her mindset played a massive role. She survived injuries that should have caused fatal blood loss within minutes. Jimmy Donaldson. No, ordinary people, extraordinary odds. What makes these stories terrifying and incredible is that these weren't trained survivalists or elite soldiers. They were ordinary people, flight attendants, teenagers, cooks, park rangers. Luck didn't make them invincible. It simply delayed death long enough for anything to save them. Why did they survive? The science of impossible luck. When experts analyze these cases, a few patterns appear. 1. Random physics. Angles, surfaces, air resistance, and impact locations matter more than people realize. 2. Human biology. Lower blood pressure, adrenaline, and shock responses can prevent fatal bleeding. 3. Environmental coincidence. Snow, trees, water, debris. Sometimes the environment absorbs energy just enough. 4. Mental response. Panic kills. Calm thinking saves time. Time saves lives. Luck isn't magic. It's probability lining up perfectly, for once. Every person on this list should be dead, by physics, by medicine, by statistics. And yet, they're not. Their stories remind us that probability isn't certainty, that survival isn't always about strength or skill, and that sometimes the universe rolls a perfect number, not because someone deserves it, but because chaos allows it. And the scariest part, every day you're walking through odds you never think about.